so back. This is Steve Sands and Jim Jones with Veterans in Politics. We have two special guests today, Ladonna Harris and Michael Harris. They're financial planners, so we're going to get to know how to invest and work our money. But before we get to our guests, Jim, you have any rants?
Actually, no. Actually, I don't really have too many rants today. It's been a good week. It's been interesting to say the least. Nothing really crazy politically, except for like Biden has the whole world ready to blow up right now. But other than that,
So, Jim, how long have you been in politics?
Oh, since I was 16,
Okay.
and I'm 47 now.
Yeah. So I've been doing Nevada politics since 1998. In this group since 2004?
Yeah.
There's two things I don't like. First one is unreliable, and the other one is incompetence.
Okay.
I don't know which one I hate most, unreliable or incompetence.
Right.
But if you have two of those qualities, my God,
yeah,
you just want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I was facing on my way here.
Oh, okay. Well, is that more to do with less to do with politics and just people not knowing how to drive out here? All the California drivers you love so much.
You know what? I was behind this guy today, and he was going slow, and I'm like, he was going real slow,
yeah.
And I'm like, I bet you it's California. And I looked, sure shit, it was California plates. What is wrong with those people? They don't know how to drive. A little drizzle, and all of a sudden everything goes to a dead stop.
Yes.
In New York, be hailing and snowing and wind, and you can't even see in front of you, and people 90 miles an hour, right? In New York, there's a traffic on the west side. You're on the east side. You're still going.
Right.
In California, there's a traffic on the west side, and there's also a traffic on the east side because everybody's nosy on the east side, want to see what's going on the west side. Like, we don't care.
Right.
It's none of our business. It's not like we're going to change anything.
Yeah, that's the thing that's always cracked me up about the interstate. I've never understood why, unless there's an accident, right? I've never understood why traffic stops on the interstate. Where are the
both sides?
Yeah, where are the stoplights?
Yeah.
There are no stoplights. Just keep driving.
So that's my rant. That's my rant for the day.
Yeah, well, driving out here is crazy.
Yeah.
It was much funner in Wyoming.
Well, anyway, we got two beautiful guests here. Yeah. Let's get to know them.
Yep.
First, we have Ladonna Harris. Ms. Harris, how you doing today, ma'am?
I am doing amazing. How are you?
I'm good. Tell us about yourself.
I am a financial advisor out here in Las Vegas. Well, I'm licensed in Vegas as well.
We should go right there. I don't want, like where you're born,
Okay. So I was born in New
Your
Mexico.
mama gave you apple pie.
I am military brat, so, we traveled all over.
Mexico?
No, New Mexico.
Oh, New Mexico. I thought she said Mexico.
No, I was born in
I was
New
about to
Mexico.
throw some Spanish on her.
No habla español. Yes.
So you're born in New Mexico?
Born in New Mexico, traveled because of parents being in the military. Ended out in Texas at Carswell Air Force Base. They shut
Which
that
one?
down. Carswell.
Okay.
They shut that down and shipped us out here to Nellis.
Okay.
And that's how we ended up here. Parents moved on. I stayed. And from there, got involved in the whole Vegas lifestyle.
Oh.
And
What were you? Blackjack dealer?
cocktail waitress
Ah.
for 20 years.
So when people don't tip, you get pissed off?
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Not now.
Used to, huh?
When I was first beginning to be a waitress.
Oh. Spill a little drinks on them or something?
No, I mean...
Took your time with their order?
Some of those, yeah, kind of take your time, and other ways, you have your ways of making sure you get taken care of.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
but did that for 20 years.
20 years? That's a long time.
Yes.
Was it profitable?
Yes. Paid all the bills for the household.
Oh, boy.
All my kids were raised on it.
How many?
Three.
Was it all at the same casino?
No.
Okay.
Started at the Suncoast Hotel and Casino. I opened them, stayed there 14 years, and then ended at the Wynn.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I like your animalistic pattern you got there.
That's right.
Yeah. It's
It's a jungle out there.
scared of you, girl.
Jungle out there.
Whoops.
See now?
Well, we thought the show was going to be over a long time ago. So
Yes. But after I left there, I went full time into financial advising.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Harris, how about you?
I'm originally from Philadelphia, by way of Delaware.
Okay.
And out of college, I went into the military, and I was
What branch?
stationed Army.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
Uh-huh.
Likewise.
Thank you.
And I was stationed at Fort Lewis in Tacoma, Washington. And then from there, I migrated to Las Vegas.
Okay.
And-
What rank were you when you got out?
Oh, I was an E4.
Okay.
Yes.
Specialist.
Yes. I was not intending to be a lifer.
No,
No.
not for you.
No.
All right.
No.
I get that.
And then we got married,
Yes.
and Ladonna was into the financial planning. And so
She wheeled you into it, didn't she?
I need your
yes.
assistance.
And so I went and got certified and did all that stuff.
Okay.
And now I'm involved
Okay.
with that as well as my wife.
All right. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So, Ms. Harris, tell us about financial plan. You know, let me ask you something.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to be discriminatory or judgmental, but I saw a survey years ago, and they were asking blacks and whites about money.
Yes.
So they went up to the black group and they said, "Hey, you know, if you had $500,000, what would you do with it?" Shit, I'll get me some bling, get me some chromes on my wheels, you know, I'll be styling and profiling, you know, and, you know, I'll just, you know, eat at the finest restaurants, you know. And they asked the Caucasians,
Yes.
how would they spend their money? They go, well, I'll put it in real estate, put it in that 401k. So what's going on? How come one race is not taught how to invest their money? And why isn't this being taught in schools?
That's a great question. You should definitely ask the school board that.
Yeah.
That is an excellent question. You know,
Am I wrong with the analyzation of the two?
No. And I look at, when you look at the school system, for instance, one of the rules on money is the rule of 72.
Mhm.
Old banker's rule. Albert Einstein came up with that. So while they were in school teaching us E equals MC squared, which most of us don't use, I don't really know anyone who does.
Right. Okay.
That's what we should have learned was
Right.
the rule of 72, not E equals MC squared. And with the rule of 72, for anyone that's not aware of that, what it is basically wherever you are investing your money, whether you have a CD, a stock, a bond, 401k, 403b, wherever, it does not matter. Find out what that interest rate is that they're giving you. You take that number, divide it by 72. Whatever the answer comes out to be tells you how long it takes for your money to double. Now, that's what they should have taught us in school.
Okay.
They don't even teach these kids how to write a check anymore. They don't even know what a checkbook is.
They don't even teach them cursive, so they can't even sign a
Exactly.
check.
Exactly, that part.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy because when I was in school, when I was in middle school, when I was in 8th grade to be exact, we actually had this alternative class, and it was called Explorations.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of cool because you did 9 weeks of home ec,
Mm-hmm.
you did 9 weeks of business class,
Mm-hmm.
and you actually learned how to balance a checkbook and how to budget money.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other half, you had to take health, the other 2 9 weeks. So I don't understand why they don't offer that anymore in school, because it was offered to me when I was in 8th grade.
So you have basic kids now that can't even add. You go to a school game and you give them a 20 and they have to actually take out their phone and subtract and figure out how much change to give you on a $6 ticket.
Mr. Harris.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm going to get through all the different types of financial, but I just need to get the politics out the way. Mr. Harris, why is this country so much in debt? Why are people using all these high interest credit cards? And why is the real estate market up 5%, 8% interest to get a house now? What is going on around here?
Well, I call it, if you keep the people in debt, you have control.
Mm.
If you let them be able to manage their own money, then now they have a way of controlling you. Meaning that now you can't regulate certain things because the majority wins.
Right.
In this case, if you control them, then now at least you can keep them in some type of a systematic perspective. And that's the part. I mean, let's keep them stupid.
So while we're on keeping everybody stupid here in America, what's going on with getting rid of cash and starting to use all this electronic currency?
There again, now you've allowed other people from the outside to infiltrate the inside. Now they take over the inside, and America is no longer America.
What are we?
Well, we have been subject to what other people are. We've allowed, from my understanding and research and study, we've allowed, it's like you have this water and you have a soda. This water is water. This is the purity of what it is. This is supposed to be America. Okay. So now when you let other countries come inside and pour their soda into this.
Now we have diabetes.
Come on. We are, man, let's not talk about that. We are number 3. We are the 3rd worst country if we haven't excelled to the top as far as diabetes, obesity, and things of sorts. So then now, what is this? Even the people that live in America don't know what this is. But yet, it's validated. It's okay to drink it. Go ahead and drink it.
You're going to die anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when you stop caring about the people,
right,
and you're more concerned about the dollar, then now that dollar, as it has shown over time, that it shows that the worth and the value of it is no longer what it's supposed to be. So much so that even foreign countries don't even want to entertain the thought of our American money.
So you're a financial planner, right?
Yes.
So do you think dispensary would be a good thing to get into? Do you think it's going to knock out the pharmaceutical market, or what do you think about that?
Well, I think it has knocked out the pharmaceutical market, and that's why they're raising the prices on the pharmaceuticals.
Is that why it's not federal yet, although all these states are adapting it quickly?
Because as it was, well, I take it back to the liquor industry and how it was when they were bootlegging.
Prohibition.
Yes, and so then now they found a way, or they said, wait a minute, these guys are making more money. So then if we make it legal, well, all this time now
it's all about legal. Money.
It's always been about
just like
the
the cure for cancer, right?
They have it. Mm-hmm. They have it in other countries. Mm-hmm. They have it here. Now I don't know if this is accurate. Now look at the camera. Mm-hmm. But for people who have found a cure, come up missing.
Imagine that.
What, did they bump into the Clintons? Or?
Now, you know what?
I'm just joking.
That's conversation.
Ms. Harris, so tell us about all the different types of financial things you could get into, like CDs, 401k, stock options, blah, 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 real estate.
Yeah, I mean, like you
My
just
little
mentioned.
lemonade stand.
Yes. I mean, you can make money off of anything, basically. It just depends on what your goal is for it. Is it short term, long term? Are you high risk, low risk? It kind of really just depends on the person, on what it is that they're doing. When I sit down with clients as a financial planner, I don't just look at just the investments. I look at overall. So it's like we're building a financial house. And so when you build any house, what do you start with? You start with the walls, the roof, or the foundation?
Foundation.
Exactly.
Right.
And so when we look at the foundation, the first thing we look at is life insurance.
I didn't mention that one.
No, you didn't.
Okay, so tell us about it.
So life insurance is extremely important to make sure that you have, especially if you are not financially well off. Because life insurance technically was never meant to be a financial need for your whole life. It's just supposed to be there until your assets build. And so if you don't have the assets just yet, you need the life insurance. Because God forbid if anything happens to you, then that means somebody has to come out of pocket to pay for your funeral. They don't have the money. Now you're making your family do GoFundMe, stand on the corner, do chicken dinners, car washes, all that stuff. And so that's embarrassing to the family, number one. You're belittling the family, and it's just downright disrespectful.
And what are the different types of life insurance, and how does that work?
So when it comes to life insurance, you have whole life, term life, universal life, Variable unit. There's so many different terms. When you look at all of life insurance, it basically boils down to two different types. You have insurance with savings and insurance without. What most people don't realize, even in the insurance with savings, whole life, universal life, all that, it's a term life insurance policy inside of each and every single one of those. People just don't realize it. They hear the word whole life and they think it's for their whole life. What they don't realize is inside of that whole life policy is an annual renewable term. So the rate is going up every single year. Now, because up front, the agency has overcharged you, you're not going to see that rate increased on your side until about 10, 15, 20 years from now. Well, by then, if you've been paying $200 a month for the last 20 years, by the time it, goes up, you're going to get the call from the agency saying, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so for being a client for all these years. But now because of inflation, the cost of insurance is $500, $600 a month. Can you afford it? And if you cannot, not only does your policy lapse, but your savings is gone. You're 65 when you most need it. You have no insurance, no savings.
So let me ask you this question real quick, because this is something that I would really like the viewers and listeners to understand, because I understand it a little bit, but not as in depth as you, because it's your profession. So, so right now, the interest that we're paying on the national debt has actually surpassed the amount of the GDP for the first time since World War II. What kind of impact does how does the amount of interest that the government is paying to foreign countries impact our interest rates here in the United States? Roughly. I mean, I know that's a very in-depth question, but I've always been curious about that.
Have you ever pulled up the debt calculator clock?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see it's ticking all day, every day. Yeah. That number is going to keep changing.
Right.
It's always, again, everything is about money. How much money can they make off of different things that we have going on? And it's just going up and up. Yeah. It's not going to go down anytime soon.
So, but what does that interest rate that the federal government is paying to foreign countries impact us? With personal loans and things of that nature, like life insurance policies, CDs, IRAs.
That goes back to the companies. Okay. The companies. So, as Americans, we pay our taxes. Right. And the taxes go to the government, and that's supposed to come back around and help us with healthcare and everything else that we need. But they're just paying it to the, big pharma and all the other companies. Sure. So now when we need it, we still have to pay more. So it's like we're being taxed twice almost. Right. So, but that's just what's going on now. And
so they have this commercial I've been seeing about selling your life insurance. How does that even work?
So that is for our, clientele that is a little bit older, and you can sell your life insurance policy to somebody else. So they'll basically pay the bill for you. Okay. But when you pass away, they're the ones that are going to
collect.
Yes.
So they're the beneficiary.
Yes.
Huh. Wow, that's crazy. All right, let's go a little bit into real estate. So, what are the different types of loans for real estate, and what is this reverse
mortgage? That's part of it.
Reverse mortgage. How does that even work?
So on the reverse mortgage, and I don't do real estate. So with my colleagues that do real estate and everything that they've told me, with the reverse mortgage is just another way for your, again, a senior person to stay in their home, but they're paying back. Basically the mortgage company is taking back the house. And so whenever they pass, the mortgage company just takes it back.
Well, you're just losing all over the place. You can't own
but
anything.
At least you could still be in your home and not lose it. Right. And that's one of the things.
It's like paying rent.
Yeah, it's like you become a renter. That's exactly what I was going to say.
It is. But for some people who've been in that same house all their life, they're not willing to give it up. They want to stay there because that's where they've been the last 30 years.
But the sad part is that there's nothing left to their loved ones.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Except for a big bill.
Well, the bill hopefully would be they would get it from the house.
Well, if it's a reverse mortgage.
Right. They would get it from the house. But there is nothing to give. I mean, you can't will the house. You can't will nothing to, your grandkids, your kids, your whatever. Nothing. And not to mention the fact that if you're married, and if the lady dies first, and that's the reverse mortgage because it's in her name, then now the husband, he's still left. If the house is gone, then where is he going to go?
Yeah. So I just want to hit a little summary on each different type of investment. So we have the life insurance and we have the real estate.
Oh, let me
What
go
else
a little
we have?
bit more into the life insurance portion
Sure.
because a lot of people don't realize because everybody's talking about generational wealth.
Right. Yeah, that was my follow-up question.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Well, good. I'm
No
right there
worries.
with you. I'm right there. So everybody talks about generational wealth, and then everybody, before everybody thought the best way to get it is just to work hard, save your money. That can work, but that's the slowest way to get there.
Right.
And of course, if you have a business, yes, you can pass that down to kids and so on and so on. Life insurance. People don't realize life insurance is also the easiest way for generational wealth. And this is what the Caucasian family.
Insurance on Jim. The show's over.
Well, business owners, yes, business partners do it as well. Because
That's right.
if something happens, you still need finances to make the business go. But when it comes to, as far as to answer your earlier question about the different nationalities, this is what the Caucasian generation has always been taught. Black folks, we have not been taught that.
Why is that?
Because
Goes back to what I said before.
You just want to dumb them down,
Yes.
keep them comfortable, collect the
Yes.
welfare. That way they
Yes.
won't sprung up and take over.
Yes.
well, I mean, if you go back, way back,
Uh-huh.
when you're going back to when slavery was just now being abolished, Black people weren't even allowed to own whole life insurance. You
Oh,
were
wow.
only allowed to get term because it was, I'm sorry, excuse me, you weren't allowed to get term. I had that backwards. You weren't allowed to get term. You can only get whole life because whole life is so much more expensive. You can only get a small amount. And so if you died, they didn't want to pay a lot of money for you.
Mhm.
Versus term life, you can, because it's so cheap, there's so much more insurance you can get. They don't want to give you $500,000 for only $20-$50.
Hence, there's no generational wealth.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's why when my dad bought life insurance, first thing my brother Steve actually knows a lot about insurance, and he goes, "Get term life."
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it was really nice. Well, not nice. That's a hard way to put it, but
We
well,
get
my-
your point.
let's just put it this way.
You were comfortable.
when my
Yes.
dad passed,
Mm-hmm.
he had a life insurance policy,
Mm-hmm.
and it paid off the house. So now I don't have a mortgage because my dad was smart and got the proper life insurance.
Absolutely. Yes, you definitely. You get the term insurance because it's so much cheaper and with that extra money, you can do other things with it.
Right.
So a financial planner will definitely sell you term insurance. Insurance agent will only sell you whole life.
So what I'm hearing, so the best way to be wealthy, if you're not building a business and making some money off of it, or somebody don't die and you get the life insurance, or you don't win from the mega bucks or the Wheel of Fortune or the super lottery or something, how could you make some money?
Off of
Oh,
life
you
insurance?
rob somebody? What do you got to do? What do you got to?
You have a planner.
What do you got to do to make money?
Plan. You get a financial planner. You sit down and you methodically think through this.
Yes.
How are we going to start? What's our foundation?
Yes.
Life insurance.
So we set that up.
And then
after that-
from there, then you put arms to it, if you will.
Yeah.
And then you
building the
move
walls
accordingly.
and the floors of the
And-
financial house.
Discipline. A lot of people get life insurance.
You can't go out and eat all the time at the Golden Stair. or
If it's not in
something.
your budget, no. Sacrifice.
You got to go to Zupas instead, man.
Oh, wait, here's that word again. Adapt.
And overcome.
Yes.
Definitely.
So
Yeah. But I mean, you look at, a lot of people they're spending more than they're bringing in.
Yes.
And so you really have to actually pay attention. And one thing working in the casino industry and dealing with employees that get tips all the time.
Yeah.
Most of them didn't even keep track of how much they were making. They were like, I'm just going to make some more tomorrow. But I was like, wait a minute. I was like, so you don't know what you average per month? And they were like, no. I was like, so you don't know what you average for the year? They're like, no. I was like, how do you buy a house then? Like, how do you figure this out? So most of them, like, they just don't get it. Like, you do have to keep track of what you're making, whether it's, cash every single day, or if you have like a regular hourly job, you still keep track of that. And then as far as what you're spending, it's got to be less than what you're making.
What you're making, yeah.
So how much of your income one should save if they don't have a pension or if they don't have PERS, public employee. What's it called? I mean,
Yeah.
public.
Yeah.
They don't. They are their Social Security is not gonna.
Yeah, we don't count. We don't even count on Social Security. With that type of question, it's a case by case situation because everybody's lifestyle is different. And so when I sit down with them, I look at what's going on in their life. What is their living situation? Because everybody will say, "Oh, I want $1 million when I retire." Well, for some people, $1 million is not enough. For some people, it is enough. But we won't know that until we actually find out what is your financial independence number. And that's a whole calculation we go through when we sit down with them.
Then we talk about that debt stacking.
As far as if they have debt,
Yes,
get them
and
out of
so
debt.
you get them out of debt. One of the things I was going to mention is that get them while they're young. There's two things that happen when you get them while they're young.
How young are we talking?
We're talking 18.
Oh,
So we're talking you educate them for life and to be able to sustain life with a happy ending, or
that's Chinatown.
I know. I was going to say pardon the pun, but anyway. and or
I need to go there this week.
there you go. See? And so there you go if it's in the budget. Anyway.
Yes,
But then when you
That's
get
true.
there, you
Gotta
don't
get the
know.
budget.
You're like, you're trying to negotiate now. What's going on?
See,
I got
so-
80.
see,
What's happening?
See, so now you
150. 150. Get out of here. It's
see,
80.
see, so you were not prepared.
You got to overcome.
Adapt. Don't go there. Stay
You
home.
better bring your back card.
Wait till you get paid again.
right. And the other side of that is that we get them while they're young, meaning we put them in debt early. And so therefore,
The government.
yes. And so most
College.
kids will receive a credit card
Mhm.
at age 18.
So-
And they think it's the best thing since Swiss cheese.
Yes. And if their
Yeah.
parents are not there to properly educate them or take it from
At
them,
33% interest rate.
come on.
Exactly.
See, so that's part of the dilemma as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so therefore, and then you have those people that are in tremendous debt, which is where they want you to be. And then you have someone come along and they say, okay, this is how we're going to do it.
Mhm.
But along with that, and it's like working out. I mean, you have to discipline yourself and you have to see the long-term effect of this. A long-term effect is, okay, you want to live the American dream, you want to buy a house. Okay, then we have to plan now strategically to when that time comes, you'll be able to get into a home.
Well,
Or
I
to
don't
buy a
wanna
car, or to do this, or
I
do
just
that.
don't want to pay a mortgage anymore. How do I get out of that?
Well, then you have to make sure you got a good job, making good money, and you tucking enough away to where you can pay cash.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So what about these CDs, Miss Harris? These CDs and these 401ks, and am I missing anything?
Yeah, you have CDs, you have 401ks, Roth IRAs, all that type of
What
stuff.
kind of IRA?
Roth.
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 Rock.
Roth.
Roth.
R-O-T-H.
Roth.
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 I got
Yes.
R-O-T-H.
R-O-T-H.
I
Yeah.
got two of them. I did
What-
that
what-
when I was really young.
Yeah. What is those Roth IRAs?
So you have a traditional IRA
Uh,
and a Roth IRA. IRA stands for individual retirement account. So it's a
Right.
retirement account, just like your 401k. Now, 401k, this is coming from your employer.
Right.
So they're taking it out of your paycheck before they give it to you, before it's been taxed.
Mm.
So when you do get ready to retire, retirement is age 59 and a half,
Yeah.
and you pull that money out, you are going to pay taxes on all of it. That's one thing.
You
No,
can't get away, huh?
no.
Well,
Because
they
the
sent
money
all our
went
money to
in.
Ukraine.
The money went in untaxed. So the government never got their tax money from it. So it went in untaxed. So no matter what, the government's going to get their money. Period.
Are they going to get their money back from Ukraine?
Oh, you got to ask them.
Not money, but they will in other things.
Yeah.
And all
There
that
you
money they gave Iran, and all that money they gave Afghanistan,
And
It
other
should have just been given
and,
to us,
and all those
the American people.
and all those millions of dollars of equipment they left
That's one of the
behind,
first things I
so
did
they
was
could
open up
so they could
Roth
use it against
when I was
us.
18.
I think we lost Miss Harris.
One more time. In other things.
Yeah, and other things, yes. So, but yeah, going back to yes, so that's the 401k. Traditional IRA is something that is typically about the same way. Again,
Right.
the money that has gone in is untaxed. Now, when you get ready to pull that out, when you are at retirement age, you are going to get taxed on all of it. Now, here's the other thing that people don't realize because they're like, "Oh, I'd rather pay taxes later than now." Well, when you pull that money out, you have to realize what tax bracket you're in.
Mhm.
If your Roth IRA, I mean, not Roth IRA, your 401k is at $100,000 to $300,000 and you're pulling that out, now that's going to put you in a higher tax bracket and you're going to get taxed more.
So,
Now, the Roth IRA,
Uh-huh.
though, is the only one that is not taxed because the money that's going into that has already been taxed.
Already
Got
got
it.
taxed. Yeah.
but
Exactly.
they probably want to tax it again.
They
if they
won't.
get their way.
No, they
No.
won't.
You know,
That's the only one by the IRS. You can pull it up on their website. That's the only vehicle that is untaxed.
so speaking of taxes, so I filed my taxes in February.
Mm-hmm.
What month is this?
Are you saying you haven't gotten them back yet?
Oh, you need a new tax professional.
Be my thoughts.
No, I call up the IRS and they said it's pending since February.
What's wrong with that? What you do?
Either you must make a lot of money
No.
and you had an error somewhere, or you got a person that's
You
putting a
need
glitch
tax
in
preparer.
your information where they have to do a lot of research on you.
Well, I heard that they have done that to a lot of people.
Hmm.
Did you get your refund back?
I sure did.
You got yours? Did you get yours?
All of my clients did too.
I didn't get my refund back.
Sounds like you need a new tax preparer.
Yeah,
And I'm just really, really upset about that.
I would be too, especially if you're supposed to get something back.
Yeah, a lot.
So how do so how does somebody well, I guess we'll get to that more towards the end, like just contact you guys on how to do this? Because I know one of the things that I always wanted to do, because I was always fascinated with economics and just in general. So when I was like 19, I got lucky because one of my professors in college happened to be a financial advisor.
Mhm.
So I was able to pick their brain, but how exactly would people get in contact with you? Because that just happened by chance.
They just call us.
Just call you.
Easy. They call us, send an email, find us on social media. But yeah, and I don't know when you want me to give the number and spell
well,
all that later.
we'll
At
do
the
that.
end.
At the end,
Yes.
we're getting there.
Yeah.
Mhm. Definitely.
So I was asking a little bit before. So I was talking about, and getting to them young is a good idea. But so I was talking about like some of these professional athletes, like now, well, the NBA is really crazy, but in football, so after they sign their initial contract, but then they get the second one because, rookie contracts now are limited. But then, so now all of a sudden you got a 25, 26-year-old that all of a sudden just signed a contract for $285 million guaranteed, because there was a quarterback that did that. Now, how do you teach them how to handle that kind of money?
You take it to the basics.
Yeah.
You have to sit down with them and like, okay, all distractions aside, set your phone aside. We need to take this back to the basics.
Right.
And really let you understand the severity of how long this money will last you if you're smart with it.
Yeah.
And yes, I mean, it's plenty of money for you to splurge and do, buy a house, buy your mama house, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But we need to tuck some away,
Right.
put into like an annuity or something that's going to keep it safe and protected over there. That way, while you splurge over here, you still have your fallback no matter what happens.
This doesn't answer the question, but it brings light to the question. Most of the athletes that have two parents in the same household they're managing the finances better than those that don't.
Yeah.
So, and when the house is more sound and structured, the athlete is not trying to make up for lost time for the parent. Most of the time it's the mother.
Right.
That they would like to buy the mother a better way of living, a house, a new car, and things of the sort.
Right.
And so therefore they're just going out, unbeknownst to them, that this money is not going to last forever.
Right.
But when you have it, there again at the same, so two-parent household, the principles, the morals, the values are more instilled that the child listens to the parents, even though they have all this money.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then after that, you also want to look at making sure they have a will,
Yes.
a trust, all those types of things. We have so many celebrities that don't even have that in place.
Explain the difference between the two, wills and trusts.
Yeah.
So your will is like just your basic. That's the basic, front line. It's very inexpensive. You can get a will for less than $40. And basically that just says, if something happens to you, or like say if you go into a coma, whatever, who's allowed to medically speak for you, financially speak for you? If you have kids, what happens to the kids, that type of stuff. Now the trust that one is the one that keeps all of your stuff out of probate. And that's, you only have that if you have the assets. Yes. If you have the assets to put into it. Because I meet a lot of people that want a trust. They don't even own a property. They're renting. I was like, what are you going to put in your trust? It doesn't even make sense. You need to at least have you need like a minimum 100,000 in assets to even make it worth it. Because the trust is not cheap.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas,
yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Try to amend that bad boy.
Yeah.
And then they got the revoked one and the non-revocable and all that. Oh, explain.
Oh, that one's for your lawyer to explain that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we have the lawyers that set all those up for our clients.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you want to discuss that we didn't touch on?
I mean, basically, bottom line, when it comes down to just financial planning, just having smart financial planning. I mean, it's crazy because everybody goes off of trends. And yes, you can make money on Bitcoin and crypto on all those types of things. But if you are not fully funding your Roth IRA and you're out of debt, you really don't really have a whole lot of business even gambling, because that's what it is, in crypto and those types of things. Because yes, you can make money, but you can also lose it all at the same time. It's not regulated. And the fact that someone can just tweet something and that changes how everything goes, I'm not leaving my money up to someone's tweet.
Speaking of stocks, do you think that when marijuana becomes federally legal, and do you think that it's going to go into the open trade market? And do you think people could make a lot of money off of that?
Absolutely.
And what about AI? That as well? Because those are the two things that I was thinking about doing. Is when have some money put away, so when marijuana is federal, start buying up some stocks, and then AI is already out there, especially that Chat GBT thing. I should have jumped on that a few months back.
Yeah, we missed that.
Yeah, we're kind of missing that, but it's not over.
No, it's not over. Just, I mean, like you're doing your research. So definitely do your research on where you would go. I would say anything that's attached to Amazon, because Amazon's a major marketing as far as distribution.
And they just bought a whole ton more of land out
by Boulder City.
They're going to be distributing it.
Yeah.
There's in the question you asked, there is a biblical scripture. It says, "Wise is he who leaves an inheritance for his children."
Yeah.
And that inheritance, the first inheritance, is to teach them about God. As a result of having that understanding about God, then now you reap the benefits, the blessings. And so now the tangible side of that is that the head of that household, what he, she, they have learned and what they have accumulated. Now that's the tangible blessing, but they can't leave it to their children if their children don't know what to do with it. So now you have to teach them and you have to guide them with this money that now is for their children's 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 children. I remember when I was personal training at one of the local clubs here, and there was a guy in there, and his grandfather was the owner, if I remember correctly, of Kellogg. So now he is, yes, and he is the the Kellogg of General Mills, and
Cornmeal.
Pardon me?
Cornmeal General Mills.
Yeah. He is the third generation grandson, and he gets a check every month. Roughly at that time, and it was about $34,000 a month.
It sounds
And he
like,
doesn't even work. He doesn't do nothing.
Trust fund baby.
Yes.
But it sounds like what Al Pacino has to pay for his 4-month-old.
Yeah.
$30,000 a month. What's a 4-month-old going to need a $30,000?
Exactly.
What's it, $360,000 a year?
Exactly.
So
So,
about $5 million for the next 18 years.
and so
Okay.
now it behooves somebody to
Yeah.
teach this child
Yeah.
where to put it, how to make that money work,
Mhm.
and that they would not be indebted. And then now they would be an asset
Mhm.
to the community, more so than a detriment.
Well, I kind of like this conversation, but we're starting to run out of time.
I understand. Definitely. So yeah, when we sit with clients, everything's on a case by case situation. Everybody's different. It's not cookie cutter.
Mark is going to zoom in on each of you, and then you each get to do a closing spiel and give your point of contact. Who wants to go first?
You go right ahead.
How you doing, Mark? My name is Michael Harris. My point of contact is michaelharris4855@yahoo.com. And my overall perspective is to educate. And as we are educated, then we have more choices and we can make sound decisions that will profit us for the time to come.
Ladonna.
Very nice. Hi, my name is Ladonna Jackson Harris. As a financial advisor, one of the things that I definitely focus on is making sure that I protect my clients first and foremost. And then the second thing is to make sure that their income grows. And so that's what I do by way of education as well. It's a one-on-one situation with the client. And so I definitely spend that time with them.
Well, I'd like to thank both of you for coming on.
Absolutely.
Ladonna Harris, Michael Harris, thank you for coming on the program. But I remember, I'll leave you with this. I remember Elon Musk, who is worth, I think last time I checked, $241 billion, the richest man in the world. You know, he said the best businessman is a drug dealer because you're dealing with a whole lot of different moving parts, distribution, territory, personality, you know, body armor. And
Definitely.
yeah, he did say, and a lot of people when they hear that, they're like, why would he say that? That's because you're dealing with a whole lot and you can make a lot of money very quickly and know where to make it. And boy, that's a lot of personality, especially when people are trying to take your life. I mean, it makes you want to think real quick how to handle business, right? Absolutely. When your life is on the line, you're starting to really know how to handle business. But if your life is not on the line, you're not really pressured, right?
Right.
And then you're hungry into making money because the more money you make, the better off you'll be protected, you'll be shielded, you know? So that's why I always listen to these shows, Gangsters of Harlem and there was one I was listening to, Family, on Netflix, and I always watch those shows just to try to see the mindset. Although the Gangsters of Harlem that's based on a true story, but to try to watch the mindset and see how these people think and how they maneuver, because you have to think on your feet all the time, and the only way you can make it big is to think on your feet, and being able to take risk. If you're not able to take risk, you're not going to win a damn thing. Exactly. Like some people says, I don't gamble, but you know, if you don't put that $20 in the Megabucks machine, you're never going to win.
That's true.
You got to be in it to win it, right? So to speak. So, well, thank you guys for coming on. I've learned a lot. I'm going to rewatch this tape some more and going from there. Jim, thank you. Folks, that's Ladonna and Michael Harris talking about financial planning. We hope it was informative and you get something. And Christmas is coming up, so don't spend all your money on these doggone presents and use your credit card, because it's really going to put you in the hole come January. This is Steve Sands and Jim Jones for Veterans in Politics. Until next time.